So my kids and I have this thing that we like to do where we go on Disney Plus, like if we're trying to find something to watch, and instead of finding something to watch, we just watch trailers forever. It doesn't matter if they're trailers for shows and movies that we've already seen or ones that are upcoming. Our favorites are the ones that like really pique our interest, and we will legitimately watch them over and over and over again. And it got me thinking, students look at the way we open lessons and units the same way that my kids and I look at trailers. The gateway activity is basically the trailer for what's to come in the classroom. And if it falls flat, that's the one that we're not going to finish, right? Like we're not going to finish watching that trailer. I have already lost most of our students before we even start.
Which is why we care so much about it. And so one of our very favorite strategies that we want to share with you right now is a gateway activity using picture books. Picture books are the perfect little intro to big concepts and themes. They're engaging in a way that's unexpected. Here's a fun fact. We have a whole lesson ready made for you and absolutely free to download that uses the book Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And we use it to introduce the genre of dystopia and all of the big ideas within it. So if you've ever been in the market for tricking and deceiving your students with something that's really engaging and fun, this is the lesson for you. Every single time we use Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs in the classroom, students are walking away intrigued. They're talking to each other. They're talking out the door about what happened in class. I mean, dreams really do come true. And they're thinking about what's coming the next day. All of these signs of a very successful gateway lesson.
And did we mention that the whole lesson is free? You can go and download it right now and come back to it whenever you are ready. Head to the show notes for this episode or go to shop.bravenewteaching.com/cloudy to download this lesson today. We can't wait to see how it works in your classroom. This episode is brought to you by Curriculum Rehab by us, the team here at Brave New Teaching. It is the first and only teacher PD of its kind, a course to help teachers like you by guiding you through creating your own personal framework for curriculum. You make it work for you, your students, and your unique situation because nobody else knows what the kiddos in your classroom need the way that you do. Curriculum Rehab takes all of the resources available to you, all of the lessons, the assessments, the activities, all of the texts, everything that could possibly be there for you, and it helps you organize what you actually need in order to attain your teaching objectives. These are the strategies that Amanda and myself have used in our own classrooms, have developed over very long years of teaching and figuring things out, combined together to create this framework and these strategies that we can guide you through. This course will give you the tools you need for a complete curriculum overhaul or to start from scratch. Wherever you are on that continuum, it does it all for you and with you on your timeline. So start today, do a little bit more in a couple of months, and then pick it up next summer. It's Teacher PD the way it should be on your own time. Head to curriculumrehab.com/course for more information, or just head to the show notes for this episode. We cannot wait to see you there. It's finally time to take control of what goes on in your own classroom and create the curriculum of your dreams. All right, let's get back into the show. Well, hello and welcome back to Brave New Teaching. And hello, my friend Amanda.
Oh, hello, my friend Marie.
Oh my goodness. Not only are we teacher friends, we're friends. And everybody out there listening, it has almost been as long for the two of us talking as it has been since we recorded last.
Truly.
And you heard a fresh episode out of us. It has been the fall of 2025. Honestly, for me, it started the summer of 2025, but the fall of 2025 has been a freaking doozy, man.
More so than we've experienced before. I think this is just speaks to, I don't know, authentic friendships and like how this podcast was started. I mean, things have evolved so much, but man, like it's just been more than I think we've ever really had to bang out before.
Well, and it's also goes to show you, we've got a little bit of a new format that we're going for because frankly, we at Brave New Teaching are nothing if not transparent and authentic. And I mean that in the very base
definition of those terms. Like, we are who we are where we are, and I am full-time in the classroom. Amanda is full-time in an elementary school. Like, there are so many different things happening in our own professional and personal lives, just like all of you out there. And so we are not your typical influencers. We want to make sure that we're right here with our community because we are part of it. And that's where Brave New Teaching came from, was like the need and the desire to have what we have in each other for and with more teachers out there. And so this is just the reality. Sometimes things change, and I'm actually really excited. If you saw the episode title here, we've got a little, like I said, a new format. This is going to be a weekly team meeting, and this is our kickoff. Welcome to the Brave New Teaching team, everybody.
It's exciting, and we'll kind of get more into like the evolution of where we're headed, like kind of as these episodes roll out. But where we're at, I think, in the podcast, aside from it being a crazy season, Marie and I have already been talking for a long time about, man, like when you start a podcast, you don't think about, well, what is episode 300 going to be like?
Not in that way. No, not in the way that it's like actually like, oh, wow, wouldn't that be so, isn't that crazy? 300, that's amazing. But now we're like, well, no, we're now in episode 300. And now I just want to like talk to people. I have tons to share that's practical classroom stuff. And I also just want to like chat with teachers.
And that's kind of what I think you're going to see from us moving forward. And we are all ears. You know that we're on Instagram, and we're sort of kind of sometimes on Facebook, but mostly on Instagram. And, I think what we are craving from the few conversations we've had with people on the outside is what everyone else is craving too. Just sitting down and chatting and talking about what's going on and what's going on with us and education, and just kind of having these much less formalized types of episodes. So we kind of came up with this team meeting format. And then when we're going to dig into something big, you'll get series from us, right?
Yeah.
That's not going away, but we're going to just be doing a little bit more casual catch up in between some of those bigger series, and like really thinking about how we can help those of you guys who are new listeners kind of access the archives in a more organized kind of a way. We're going to try to take a little bit more time on what's already out there and making it more accessible to you while still catching up and not going through like, oh my gosh, we have never, ever had that long of a lag between episodes. And it was really sad, but it was very real. It was just very real.
It's just what it was. Yeah. So friends, we're going to get in and start chatting and get this team meeting kicked off, because it's going to be quick, because no one has a whole ton of time right now for a whole lot of things. And before we can really get going, guess what we got to do?
Let's do it.
Cue the music.
You're listening to Brave New Teaching, and we are so much more than a podcast.
We give teachers the inspiration, support, and tools to challenge the status quo.
I'm Amanda, and I'm a former English teacher from Illinois.
And I'm Marie, and I'm a high school teacher from Southern California.
Join us after the show and happy hour to extend your BNT experience with instant access to our resources, workshops, and courses.
Visit shop.bravenewteaching.com/happy hour to join us today. We're so glad you're here. Enjoy the show.
All right, friends. So the idea here behind this little Brave New Teaching team meeting is that we're going to bring the things to your virtual desk that we think need to come across your desk week to week. One thing that we were going to start with, and then Amanda very quickly was like, Marie, we are not prepared for that conversation to be less than 3 hours. So I was like, well, no, we need to have it in like 5 to 8 minutes. And she was like, no. If you have not already seen the October 14th of this year, 2025, article from The Atlantic entitled "America is Sliding Toward Illiteracy," listen, it's a doozy. Amanda has a very good point. We need to gather our thoughts a little bit more before we have a true conversation about this and share it with you here for our team meeting. So that is coming in the next few weeks. If you've not had a chance to look at it, I say hop onto your district's subscription services and get your ears and eyes, because I know there is a recording of it. Yeah, you can listen to it on the NOAA app, NOA apparently, but you should read this and then let's chat about it.
We did an episode like this in the spring about a different article. And if you didn't listen to that one, you should go listen to it. And I also mentioned, if you have a public library card, you can download it on Flipster is the name of the app. Flipster will let you log in with your library card to access The Atlantic and a whole bunch of other types of subscription magazines.
Yeah. So more on that one to come. But in the vein of reading and literacy and Amanda in her position as a librarian and me as an ongoing, English teacher forever, we are going to talk about reading because that is at the forefront of everything, at least in my class, even in my drama classrooms, like getting my students to really read things, both short and long, is an interesting uphill climb. And so I think talking about reading and reading habits is a great way for us to spend our little team meeting time.
Yeah. And then after that, we're going to catch up on where we've been and where we're headed. And that's kind of the episode. So
yeah, absolutely.
Shall we jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay, so here's what I wanted to talk about in terms of reading. So I feel like it's such a really interesting hot topic with we're seeing everywhere, right, in the book talk world, and I think it's absolutely bleeding over into our EDU world, which is this idea of the TBR or the never-ending TBR lists and setting these kind of reading goals for the end of the year, using Goodreads, we've talked about this before, but there are so many people I'm seeing right now kind of gamifying their TBRs and trying to push themselves to read the books that they've purchased and not read. I just think it's so interesting on our end as readers, but I think that there's so much to be gained for bringing that culture to school because as far as I've seen, that culture does not exist within the student community nearly the same way it does in our adult one.
Oh, not at all. Well, there are in my junior English, my American Lit classes, right? There's the few kids who are on my level, and some of them are reading some of the same fantasy books that I'm reading. I'm like, do your parents know you're reading that? And then I'm like, no, wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me you finished it. Don't tell me you got to that chapter. Don't tell me any of it. Those kiddos who are voracious readers are fewer and further between than I think I've ever seen even before. And I have, for a long time, when I hear about gamifying things in a classroom, I get a visceral reaction that makes me gag.
I know.
Real hard. I don't get me wrong. I love me some games. I like tracking, but there's something about the word gamifying that I'm like, bleh. However, I don't think that this is necessarily all that bad because on the flip side of this coin, there's the idea that a reading tracker or something where you bubble things in and you fill in a poster with all of these little blank book spines and all of the books. I'm a total nerd for that, total geek out, love all of that. So maybe it's just the digital aspect of it that I just need to get behind. I don't know. It makes me think of Class Dojo and these different things that they have. I know at the elementary level. And I do think that there is something to it. Fine, I admit it.
I think there's a lot to it because I think, so of course, those of you who have not been stalking me at all, I've been kind of quiet. I took a new job here. I'm at my kids' school as the, media aide. More on that later, but I work in the library. And so it's been really fun to kind of be on the side of none of this is for a grade and none of this is assigned. And still there is a lot of that joy and kids finding books for fun that's happening here that I definitely see dissipating with light speed the older they get past elementary school. And so I love the lightheartedness of tackling a TBR list with a digital spinner and the idea of getting away. There are still teachers even in this building, right, that will assign a reading log that's a T-chart. And it's okay, if we want kids to have and not even have fun reading, but have a positive, joyful perception of reading.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm coming from right now is my only goal right now in this library is to make reading seem like it's fun.
Sure.
And that is something that I don't think I actively pursued in my classroom days in the high school. But I think I could learn a lot from this concept because I think the more that we're able to separate academic reading from fun reading and talk about fun reading as fun more often. Yeah. It kind of normalizes the fact that people do this for fun.
Well, and that it is a, centuries and generations old pastime, right? Like
100%.
that's it. It's the sharing of stories. And this is, other than like oral tradition, writing came next. Therefore, reading came up shortly after that. As a way to share tradition and to entertain one another and oneself. It's interesting because as you were saying, making reading seem like fun, right? I'm thinking about some experiences I've been having in my classes. For anybody who's new around here, I teach American literature, 11th grade English at a public high school in San Diego. And I also, at the same high school, teach theater. I teach drama. So I have a beginning drama class and an advanced drama class. And I'm seeing across all three of those different courses an interesting phenomenon, which is that my students, not everybody, but everybody has done it at least a couple of times, show almost a reluctance to try to have fun.
100%.
Even playing games in class. I mean, yes, part of it is we have to just like completely like separate ourselves from screens. Like sometimes it's that like link, it makes it hard. But it takes me way longer in the last couple of semesters, I would say, to crack into getting kids to giggle and have fun with me and then with each other than it ever has before. And I think that then reading and like stories and that kind of fun is within that same umbrella. So maybe that's why I'm warming up to gamifying. Maybe that's why there's something about the gimmicky stuff that I used to just really like, I don't have time for that. And I don't know if I just thought it was too good or like what my problem was. But now I'm like, well, no, maybe that is what we need, because like it or hate it, the attention span of not just kids, but adults too, is a fraction of what we think it should be, right? And so we can either bitch about it or we can lean in and say, well, then how do we keep going? Yeah. And I do have a few ideas, and that's what we want to like, after we wrap up this little bit of conversation, we do want to say, and so like, here's what we think could be fun. And like, here are some ideas and some things that we've seen. But I do think that since reading, especially as English teachers, is like such a, bread and butter part of the job, I think that's really where a lot of my own focus needs to go, is to like making that seem like a lot. I was just talking to our librarian the other day, and she was talking about like, would our department want to start bringing kids in on like a monthly or like every other month basis just to look at books, like just to like go in and shop for books. And I was like, oh, shopping. Yes, that is something I want to do. So I don't see why the kids wouldn't. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so I think that on our what's trending topic for this week, we are team stamp of approval, lean into the gimmicks and have some fun. I think we don't have to call it even gamifying, but I think even a gimmick, I feel like it's worth it to, I don't know, like just pull back the veil a little bit and just have some fun. I'm 100% in.
Yeah, no, I am too. I'm looking right now back in my Instagram for, there was a reel that I had saved. It's going to take me a second, so we might have to pause. Hold on.
Well, while you pause, I'll share something silly that I did that was a total gimmick that I did a reel about it. But in the month of October, one thing that we tried, I don't know if this is at the high school too, but what's super popular right now are these like little resin like animals and thingies. So like a lot of the kids have ducks. Like ducks are the thing right now.
That's so cute.
They're like miniature, like tiny little resin ducks. They're all different colors. And so the laser librarian, I think I follow her because now I follow all these librarians, and it's like, oh my God, why was I not following librarians before? What an idiot. Librarians are freaking brilliant. And so anyway, she did the same idea, but with ghosts, and had students, everyone who checked out, I think in October, was eligible to adopt a ghost. And so the kind of like the data that we track in the library is number of circulations. That's how we're measuring reading in the library, more or less. And so, man, I introduced that little ghost, and I'm telling you, I had classes with 100% checkouts. Like normally, right? So in the library, I'm not requiring children to check out a book every week. Like that's not an expectation, right? Like that's not how it works. It's not like check out a book or die.
Right.
It's welcome to the library. Here's what we have available. And this is a comfortable, safe space for you to be during your specials. And I book talk, I do all the things, but I'm not policing checkouts.
Right.
I'm measuring them. And like, I want kids to do that because they want to. Anyway, Gimmick, little ghost, attached it to a bookmark that I made. Amazing. I mean, skyrocketed. Kids who normally never check out books and are reluctant to like engage in reading fun and culture, absolutely in line for a baby ghost. So like, did they all go home and read? No. Did they all engage in library, book checkout, find something interesting? Most of them, yes. Some
And
of them
have a positive experience
correct.
with the book house, right? Like, yeah.
I mean, that's a win. That's absolutely a win. So,
absolutely a win. I can't find the stinking reel that I was looking for.
Okay.
So I will try to find it and I will share it on social media this week. When I do, I'll like repost it and talk about it on Instagram. But it was, I mean, a similar sort of a situation, but like our teacher was having their students basically like set up their own blind date a book situation. Yeah. But like, I don't know, the way that I was, I think it was a much smaller school. And so I don't know, adopt a ghost, blind date a book, similar in that, like every kid walked away with something. And so I don't know, I in my situation, the way that I see something where students are setting something up for each other is going to be a little bit different than like this reel that I was finding. But basically where students are either going to have a book that they personally have read or enjoy, or that they haven't, but it sounds kind of cool, right? And then they like have to pitch it and sell it and almost, I don't know. I had a few different ideas walking through my head about this, where they either like, you know, wrap it like a typical blind data book and you like write different things on the outside of it, or it could be something like Shark Tank and you like pitch the book. That it could be kind of a fun, cool idea. There's another thing that I plan to do before Thanksgiving, if I can get my stuff together. In fact, maybe next week we can talk about this a little bit too. I want to do, I have my little like books giving activity, but I kind of wanted to see if I can get kids to bring in books and I can get like some of the discards and free books from the library and do almost like a little book exchange before students go home for Thanksgiving. I don't know, more on that to come. But that's kind of like where I'm feeling inspired right now, is to maybe not gamify, but to create a little bit more whimsy around books and reading in my own classroom.
Yeah. Positive experiences with books, period, is, I mean, being intentional about it, I think is the big difference. And, you know, that's just a huge thing. We'd love to hear your ideas too. So if you hear us posting about, or if you see us posting about it, please comment and share what's working for you too, because we'd love to know.
Yeah, send us things, repost things so that we can see them as well, because I think that's going to be the best way to move forward here. I'm feeling the weight of the world recently, and I know you are, and I know everybody out there that I'm talking to lately is as well. So it's pretty safe to assume that so are our listeners. And that's where we're hoping these team meetings can come in and provide a little bit of levity, a little bit of even just a grounding experience. And hopefully something we've said has sparked a little bit of inspiration and joy. And let us know what it did, because we need it too, you know?
Yeah. Do we want to do any catch up on where we've been, where we're going?
I think we absolutely should. I mean, professionally, things are moving and shaking for me. Like, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
This week, we started The Great Gatsby, our American Dream Great Gatsby unit. That will lead me up until Thanksgiving, and I have the whole week off. And then in my theater classes, we're putting together a big, huge variety winter and holiday show.
Oh,
so
yeah, you guys did that I remember that from last year too.
Yeah, we do it every December, and I love it. And it's starting to become a tradition where students are like, oh, I get to be in that one, which I think is like it is exactly what I was going for when I put this little holiday show together in the first place. So I just want the community aspect to find its way back to my school campus, because it's been a little rough for a few years. Long story short, friends who don't already know this, my house had some flooding and mold the week school got out in June, and I am almost looking like I'm going to be able to move back in the next few weeks.
Oh my God.
And that's Marie's update. And that's how Sue sees it. Sorry, I just had to do a little glee for you.
Marie has been through, I can't even tell you guys. I don't even know the half of it. I mean, I can't, imagine being out of my house for half a year.
Yeah, it's been a very expensive stay with my parents.
So if you're wondering where we've been, that's half the story.
That's not even half the story. Yeah, how about you? Let's hear about it.
Professionally, I'm having a hard time finding my grounding, but at the end of the school year last year, the media specialist at my kid's school put in her notice, and she moved on to the middle school actually. So she's still in the district, but the position became open here. And I don't know, I'm kind of crazy. I'm still running my business from home. I'm still doing professional development. I'm still doing all these things. But I thought I've always wanted to work in a library. And actually take it back. That's not true. I used to hate libraries, but I've always thought that it would be interesting to know what it was like. And my kids are here. It was kind of one of these
yeah,
I don't know, serendipitous, let's give it a go kind of thing. And I applied, got it, and then started. And it was, I had no training.
no, boom,
absolutely
boom, boom.
Nothing.
Well, other than the fact that you are, a highly qualified and experienced English language arts teacher, and you understand
that's never
literacy
even set
development
foot in a middle school, much less an elementary school.
Right, I know, yeah.
It has been quite a shock to the system being in elementary school and being in an elementary school library. I didn't even carry over any of my book anything to this job. I started from the ground up. And even with my own kids are small. So we've read 1,000 picture books, but servicing kids at this age is completely new and really interesting.
Yeah.
And I can't stand juvenile fiction. This is you think about what was I thinking? But now that I'm here and now that I have these little tiny humans, it's a totally different experience, right? Now I'm getting to know them and doing all kinds of cool things and learning a lot. It's to be very transparent, I'm basically getting insurance and volunteering. This is not I am here full time, but I am not a salaried teacher. I did not get my credential. I do not have a master's in library science. I am an aide, and that's how it works in our district. So all the 3 elementary schools have an aide, and then there's a head librarian who travels to each of the schools every now and again. So I am technically alone in here and in charge, but not really.
Yeah.
So it's been very interesting sorting that out. Yes, but loving it and possibly going to take advantage of some tuition reimbursement because
you are.
Hey, maybe I will go for that certificate. So it's been cool. A lot of boundary setting and worked with my own kids. That's been hard and great, but it's all of the things.
Yeah.
And personally, I feel like that's exactly the blurry line that we're dealing with. So, but it's been a lot. People have been sick. I've told people before too. My mother-in-law has Alzheimer's, and it's getting progressively more difficult to deal with, and so that's been very, really trying. But totally, let's normalize that conversation too.
Right?
It's unbelievable to me the number of people struggling with this that just
don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's really
well, and there's also just the very real fact that the world is on fire, and there's only so much we can talk about without just shutting down. So
and protecting our peace, and exactly. I think that's what's hard is I've definitely, when I have a moment to be alone, I first and foremost miss Marie, but then I crash and need to put on headphones that have nothing on them.
Yeah, no,
just stare at a blank wall for as long as I possibly can.
Well, and that's why we were you know what? I think now's as good a time as any to just jump in and be hey, friends out there. Hey, teachers. Hey, educators. Hey, brave new teaching community. We're still alive. Sorry. Also, did you even notice? Because we're all in the same boat. It's okay if you didn't notice that we've been gone.
And on that note, we do have a bunch of happy hour people that we would love to catch back up with. We are in the midst of a rewrite of what that's going to look like in the future so that we can have that mirror a little bit more of the future of the podcast and the reality of our, positions as we move forward. So we're in the midst of that, and we'll be sending out emails and information moving forward. But we're really excited about the future. We're just kind of in that rebuild. It's kind of we traded a bunch of our starting players and we're rebuilding.
And we want to make sure that we are here to provide teachers with what they actually need, with not what just, I mean, again, we're trying to live by what we always talk about, like avoid shiny object syndrome and focus on what matters. And obviously, like we are, very much victim to the shiny objects as well. And so that's why we're taking our time to do it right.
And no gimmicks. We didn't want to just throw a bunch of junk out either. So it's been taking time, but no, it's been a lot of thought, and thinking takes a lot of energy and a lot of time these days. So yeah, that's where we are. No gimmicks. Maybe we're going to gimmick our kids into reading, but we're not going to gimmick you into crappy teaching.
Just for the whimsy of it all, really.
Whimsy is better than gimmick, I think.
I think so too.
Whimsy is more intentional.
So, friends, we are going to gather our thoughts about this Atlantic article so that we can come together and chat in the next few weeks. But make sure that you carve some time out every week for our little Brave New Teaching team meeting. And then in some weeks, we're going to have bonus things with like longer, deep dive, more traditional Brave New Teaching style episodes for you. We are excited to just get back and chat and be here.
We are.
And there we have it. Friends, have a wonderful week at school. It's November. You can do this. We can all make it through. We only have, 5-6 weeks left in 2025. And I'm not going to be like, oh, you can make it the best. No, just get through it. It's going to be great. You're going to do great.
You're going to do great.
You're going to do great. And with that, we bid you adieu. Friends, thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next week.
Thanks again for listening to Brave New Teaching.
We'd love to keep the conversation going over on Instagram.
And while you're there, check out the links in our bio for the most up-to-date events going on in Happy Hour and the Brave New Teaching community.
Thanks for being here, and have a great week at school.